So now we see the different parts or the organelles of the cell. First of all, let us understand the difference between a plant cell, how does a plant cell look, and how does the animal cell look. So in a plant cell, the first thing what we have is the outermost kind of a covering, and that is called as the cell wall. So this over here is the cell wall. And then there are this inside, so this complete thing over here, this is one particular cell. So this is the cell, this part is the cell of the plant cell. So this part over here, so there will be cells like this, one cell here, one cell here, one cell here, and then outermost part will be cell wall. Whereas in case of an animal cell, the animal cell will be just a simple thing like this without any cell wall. So you can see this and this represent the plasma membrane or the cell membrane, also called as the plasma membrane. Okay, so this is the cell wall, this is a cell membrane, here this is a cell membrane, and the outer lines over here are the cell walls. Cell walls are present only in the plant cell, not present in the animal cell. So when we talk about the cell membrane, now we can easily learn this particular part of the chapter through the table which is given over here. The table gives you completely all the details. So we have got the type of the cell, organelle, we have part of the cell organ. This is the main characteristics of that and the function of this. This is completely giving you the details. Only thing is that in your new textbook, at least in the last year's textbook, they had given wrong information about the function of the nucleus. So you can just let me know what is given in your book, and accordingly what I am telling you right now is the correct one. So because older book had the correct thing. Right, now you see over here the first part is the cell wall, which is the outermost part. Now cell wall is a non-living rigid layer surrounding the plasma membrane. So the cell wall, this cell wall, this one and this one is a non-living. It is a non-living thing. Why non-living? Because it is to protect the tree. The plant needs to get protected. It doesn't have hands and legs to remove the ants and everything which is coming on top of it. So what is happening? They are having this particular cell wall. The cell wall is acting as a protective membrane. Okay. So this cell wall is going to be non-living and rigid surrounding the plasma membrane. Mainly it is composed of cellulose. Cellulose is a kind of a material that is what the cellulose is the content. So cell wall is made up of cellulose and they are freely permeable. What do you mean by freely permeable? Allowing everything to enter inside and everything to go outside. So there is no security guard. वहाँ पे कोई भी आ सकता है, कोई भी जा सकता है. वैसे ही this cell wall is freely permeable. It does not stop anything from coming inside and does not stop from anything going outside. Hence, it is not hindering into any process of the plant. What it is doing is only protection. So what is the function of this is? Gives rigidity and shape to the plant cell, allows substances in the solution to enter and leave the cell without hindrance, and finally provide protection. So these are the three main functions of this: giving rigidity and shape, okay, allowing anything to come inside, anything to go outside, and thirdly to give protection. Now this is the main difference between this plant cell and animal cell. Then what we see is the cell membrane, also called as plasma membrane. So the plasma membrane or the cell membrane is the outermost part in the animal cell and the next to the cell wall in the plant cell. In the plant cell it is next to the cell wall, whereas in the animal cell it is the outermost shell, outermost part itself. It is very thin, flexible, living membrane. It is living membrane. It is having life. So it is a living membrane. It is very thin and flexible. So it is very easy to contract, expand, जो भी होना है वो movement पूरा possible है. It possesses fine pores. Okay, it possesses fine pores and it is semi-permeable. Semi-permeable means there is a security guard in front of the particular thing. No means only certain people allowed inside, certain people to go outside. Semi-permeable means it is allowing only certain substances to go in and only certain substances to go out. It does not allow everything to go in and everything to go out as in the cell wall. So cell membrane is semi-permeable. And it's also called it as selectively permeable, means only selected things can enter and exit from the cell by the cell membrane. And it is made up of lipoproteins. So the structure of the cell membrane is made up of lipoproteins. Function wise, it separates the content of the cell from its surroundings. So दो cell के बीच में surroundings को curtail करने के लिए, so separates the contents. Regulates the entry of certain solids and solvents because it's semi-permeable. It allows only or regulates the movement of certain solutes and ions to come in inside and going outside. And lastly, in case of animal cell, it is also giving the shape to the cell. The shape of the cell is maintain the shape of the cell in the animal cell. So this is how the animal cell and this is how the plant cell looks like from outside. Now we go a bit into detail. The next part is the cytoplasm. So everything over here, whatever is there, except there is one more nucleus over here. उसके सिवा यहाँ पे जो भी है, all the different points over here, all the inside content of this particular cell, that is called as cytoplasm. So this over here is called as cytoplasm. So all the parts together inside the plasma membrane excluding the nucleus is called as cytoplasm. All the parts inside this plasma membrane except the nucleus is called as the cytoplasm. Contains a mixture of water and soluble inorganic and organic components and various organelles. So what does it contain is, this contains some inorganic and organic material, some watery liquid fluid which is inside, and mixture of water and soluble inorganic and organic substances and organelles which are present in this particular cell. So all this combined gives you the cytoplasm. What is the function? Different organelles contained in its perform different functions. So function wise cytoplasm का खुद का ही function नहीं है because there are many small parts of it. So अलग-अलग parts के अलग-अलग functions है. But all metabolic activities occur in it. So whatever is the breakdown of any metabolic means breaking down. So metabolic activities, what is taking part in the body cell is going to take place inside this cytoplasm. And finally is seat of earlier step of respiration, production of pyroglutamate, which is anaerobic respiration. So when a person respires, respiration, when we learn the chapter respiration, we will be able to understand it better. We produce energy when we respire. When we respire, we just don't take in an air and take give out or also oxygen dena or carbon dioxide dena. That is just a superficial thing. What exactly is going to happen is that the cells are going to produce ATP, which is the energy currency of our body. तो वो ATP जनरेट करने के पहले वो ग्लूकोज को किस तरह से ब्रेक डाउन करता है. So it does it in two steps. One step is done in the cytoplasm, which is formation of the pyruvate or pyruvic acid. So that is done in the cytoplasm. So the anaerobic respiration or that thing is done in the cytoplasm. The next what we see is we'll first come to as not going as per the table. I'll just go a bit further first and then come back over here, because nucleus is a very important part. So first we'll go through the nucleus. So nucleus is something like this. It is over here having a nuclear membrane, and the nucleus will be having something like this, which is called as chromatin fibers, chromosomes and chromatin fibers, and also it will be having a dark spot over here called as the nucleolus. So if you see the markings, we can say that the first marking over here is the nuclear membrane. The next over here is the chromatin fibers. Then over here is the nucleolus. Okay, nucleolus. And of course the main part over here, this whole thing over here is the nucleus. So the nucleus is the largest cell organ. Now it is always over here also. Here there is some nucleus will be somewhere here like this. Okay. I am not going to draw anything in the plant cell unless it is very important in the plant cell. Otherwise we'll see it in the animal cell, everything. So it's easier to understand also. Because plant cell has got everything crowded. So we'll avoid that thing and see over here. So nucleus, it is the largest cell organelle, largest of all, largest, mostly spherical and dense. It is spherical and is completely filled up, completely bhara hua hai, dense. And nuclear membrane will pose to allow substances to enter and leave. So there is a nuclear membrane outside which is allowing the substance to move in and move out. So that is why it is having a membrane outside. And contains network of thread-like structures called chromatin fibers which contain DNA. So our hereditary characteristics, whatever are there, they are going to be forwarded from one generation to another generation through something what is called as DNA or the gene. That gene or DNA what we are having in our body is located inside this network of fibers called as chromatin fibers. So chromatin fibers are made up of the DNA. You can consider it as a simple way that DNA is present inside this chromatin fibers. So what are the function wise? First thing is regulate cell functions. So you can consider this is the brain, or you can say the main part of the cell. So everything, whatever functions the cell is doing is going to be regulated by the nucleus. So main part. Okay. So much so that if you remove the nucleus, the cell dies. So that's why nucleus is so important, that if you remove the nucleus, the cell would die. What it contains is chromosomes. So chromatin fibers, when they mature, they become chromosomes and bears the genes or controls hereditary structure or hereditary characteristics of the body. So that is the main part of the nucleus that contains chromosomes, bears genes that control hereditary characteristics. We also see the nucleolus. So the nucleus which is over here, one or more rounded nuclei inside the nucleus. So this is a rounded part inside the nucleus. So I'll make it blue for easy understanding. This one. This is the nucleolus. One or two, depending upon cell to cell, it will depend. So it will be one. Mainly it is used to produce ribosomes. We'll study ribosomes next immediately. Not immediately, but after 2 or 3 organelles. So they are the one which produces those ribosomes. They participate in the protein synthesis by forming and storing RNA. RNA is ribonucleic acid. Now this RNA is the one which is helping to generate proteins for the body. So synthesis or producing protein is going to be done with the help of the nucleolus. And it is ribosomes to produce protein. So ribosomes का one of the function of the ribosome is to produce or synthesize protein. तो वो राइबोसोम को प्रोटीन बनाने के लिए कौन बोलता है? तो ये न्यूक्लियस बोलता है. तो न्यूक्लियोलस is telling the ribosome to produce the proteins. And next is the chromatin fibers. This chromatin fibers, they are the network of thread-like structures in resting stage. For the nucleus condenses into chromosomes during cell division. So before the cell division, it is in this form. But when the cell division is going to take place, these chromatin fibers bundle up to form chromosomes. The chromosomes will be the fixed number of chromosomes in every individual or in every individual species. Like for example, humans, they have got 46 chromosomes in this particular nucleus. Okay, so there is always a specific number of chromosomes present in each and every living organism. Okay, so and the chromatin are made up of DNA threads, as I told you earlier. So what does it function? That is, chromosomes carry hereditary information or the genes, so that humans give birth to another human. So plants give birth to one mango plant, give birth to another mango plant. So वो सब जो genetic जो है, the hereditary structure जो है, that is present in this chromatin fibers or the chromosomes. So that was the 3 parts over here. Now we see the parts which are from the earlier ones. That is, the first one over here is endoplasmic reticulum. So this is something like this. Maybe 2 of them. This is endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum, in a simple manner, can be said to be as the one which sees to it that the structure of the cell is maintained, plus it is allowing the transportation of nutrients coming from outside to go to the nucleus. समझो बीच में न्यूक्लियस है और ये हाथ ऐसे स्प्रेड किया हुआ है, तो हाथ जो स्प्रेड किया हुआ है उससे सेल का शेप बनता है. This hands, what I am showing over here, are endoplasmic reticulum. So this is the nucleus और ये ऐसे हाथ पकड़ के रखा है जिससे सेल का शेप मेंटेन होता है. So endoplasmic reticulum, it is irregular network of tubular double membrane. So it is made up of double membrane. The membrane is double. You know, there are 2 membranes, so it will be like double membrane inside. So it will be double membrane inside. So this will be double membrane. It is continuous with plasma membrane on the outside and nuclear membrane in the inside. So basically, it is a connecting thing between the plasma membrane and the nuclear membrane. A connective thing between the two. And may be smooth or rough when ribosome attached. So it may be happening that this could be as smooth like this, or it could be having some kind of spots on it. If they are having spots like this on it, then this kind of the endoplasmic reticulum, also called as ER, short form of endoplasmic reticulum, ER, this will be called as a rough endoplasmic reticulum. So this one over here is rough ER, and this one over here is smooth ER. ER is endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, it is endo. Okay, I'll write it over here. Endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, endoplasmic reticulum, that is ER, either smooth or rough. If it is rough, it will have dots on it. The dots are nothing but the ribosomes, which we discussed during the nucleolus. कि nucleus the ribosome बनाता है. So that is nothing but the ribosome. So over here, this dots over here, this dot over here is ribosome. Right. But before we that, we go to the functions of the ER. First thing is supportive framework for the cell. It supports the cell, as I told you. It holds like this. So cell ka structure maintain ho. So that is the supportive structure. Second, synthesis and transport of proteins and fat. It produces fats and proteins because ribosome is already here. So proteins तो बनाता ही है. Plus fats भी वो synthesis करता है. And transport. Why? Because it is a connection between the cell membrane and the nuclear membrane. तो दोनों के बीच में का transportation कौन करेगा? Endoplasmic reticulum. The next organelle what we see is something like this. Now this is called as mitochondria. It's mitochondria, also called as the powerhouse of the cell. Structure wise, various shapes, but usually sausage like. Okay, usually sausage जैसा दिखने वाला रहता है. It has double walled. You can see inner wall and outer wall. Double walled. Okay, inner wall thrown into folds, cristae. So you can see outer wall is smooth, but the inner wall is folds, which is called as cristae, and have their own DNA containing several genes. So there are several genes present in this particular part. So it has got its own set of genes over here. Also contain their own ribosomes. So basically these are the ones which can produce their own kind of proteins, that because it is got into ribosomes, they are going to have their own cell division taking place. They got their own DNA. So this is a special organ. What does it do? Release of energy from pyruvic acid produced in the cytoplasm in the form of ATP, that is seat of cellular aerobic respiration, and stores energy. The main thing about this thing is that mitochondria is the one which is going to generate adenosine triphosphate, that is ATP, for our body. And this ATP is very, very important for the body because that is the energy required for the body to perform. So respiration में जो थोड़ा बहुत पार्ट जो यहाँ पे साइटोप्लाज्म में जो हो रहा था, balance work, the main work of production of maximum amount of ATP takes place inside this mitochondria. Hence, the main function is also to synthesize respiratory enzymes. Anything related to respiration, production of ATP, production of enzymes, that is going to be done by mitochondria. Hence, mitochondria is also called as the powerhouse of the cell. Why is it called the powerhouse of the cell? Because mitochondria produces ATP, which is the energy currency for the cell. Hence, because energy is being produced by the mitochondria, it becomes the powerhouse of the cell. The next what we see is some bodies which will be shapeless bodies over here, like this over here. These bodies over here are called as Golgi Apparatus or Golgi bodies also. Golgi Apparatus, Golgi bodies is one and the same. Now these Golgi bodies are present in plant cell also, but it is not called plant Golgi bodies. They are called as dictosomes. So in case of plant cells, dictosomes of plant cell is equal to Golgi bodies of animal cells. Okay, dictosomes. If somebody tells you, okay, what is the body or dictosomes of plant cell, it is nothing but the Golgi apparatus of the animal cell. They are stacks of flattened membrane sacs. So flattened membrane से एक के ऊपर ऐसे membrane sac जैसा है. So that is like an shape which is flattened membrane sac. Consisting of tubules, vesicles, and vacuoles. There are vesicles, that is small vascular objects, and vacuoles. Vacuoles are empty spaces which are present inside the Golgi apparatus. Now the main function of the Golgi apparatus is synthesis and secretion of enzymes and hormones. Now we can consider in simple layman term that Golgi apparatus is the cook, okay, rasoya, cook of the cell. Why? In our body, whichever enzyme or whichever kind of a juice or gastric juice or whatever is being prepared in our body, maximum of them are going to be prepared by this Golgi apparatus. All the different enzymes, whether it is the thyroxine of the thyroid gland, or it is the gastric juice from the stomach, or it is the tears from the eyes, everything is going to be generated by the synthesis and secretion of enzyme and hormones are going to be done by the Golgi apparatus. Another important function of that thing is the formation of acrosome of the sperm. The sperm has got an outer head. तो वो sperm cell का, male के sperm cell के outer head को बनाने का काम जो है, that is also done by the Golgi apparatus. The next one are the dots over here. That is the endoplasmic reticulum वाला rough endoplasmic reticulum का ribosome. So next is ribosome. Small granules either scattered on the cytoplasm or attached to the outside of the endoplasmic reticulum. We know that they will be on the outside of the endoplasmic reticulum. They can also be scattered over here. They can be scattered over here. It's not necessary that वो endoplasmic reticulum के ऊपर ही होना चाहिए. They can be scattered even elsewhere. They are called as ribosomes, and they are single, small, granular, either scattered on cytoplasm or attached to the outside of the endoplasmic reticulum. Single-walled, dense, spherical bodies composed mainly of RNA. Okay, and the function is to protein synthesis. So we have to produce proteins. The production of proteins done by the ribosomes. The next what we see is small bodies like this over here. This over here is a lysosome. Now lysosome is the one which is going to be a helping hand to the Golgi apparatus, because it also produces around 40 different kinds of enzymes. But function wise or the structure wise, it is membranous sac, just a membranous sac budded off from Golgi apparatus. So yes, it is coming out from the Golgi apparatus. So it is a part and parcel of the Golgi apparatus, and contains 40 different types of enzymes. So it can produce 40 different kinds of enzymes which are over there. Now, what it's going to do is intercellular digestion. Whatever is going to be the digestion process which is going to take place intercellular inside the cell, that is going to take place, is going to be done with the help of lysosome. It destroys the foreign substances. Any foreign body entering into the cell, ऐसे तो cell membrane है protect करने के लिए, but फिर भी अगर कोई foreign body अंदर enter हो गया तो it is going to be stopped by this particular lysosome. So destroy foreign substances. Next, very important, and that is when cell is old or injured, they rapidly destroy organelles, hence called as suicidal bags. Lysosomes are also called as suicidal bags. Suicidal bags क्यों? Suicide, killing itself. Suicidal bags. Suicidal bags. ये mitochondria था powerhouse. Okay. Suicidal bag क्यों? See, lysosome sees to it that all the organelles of that particular cell are in proper condition or not. They maintain that particular structure. The moment it sees that anything is not proper, then it is going to try to repair it. और वो repair अगर नहीं हो रहा है, तो वो एक एंजाइम जनरेट करेगा जिससे ये पूरा का पूरा सेल मर जाएगा. So it is going to destroy the cell if at all it is not able to repair it. Or basically, if the cell is old or injured, these cells this destroys the organelles, and hence they are called as suicidal bags. Okay, so lysosomes are suicidal bags. Formation of bones by digesting cartilages. So cartilage में से bone बनाना, that is also done with the help of lysosomes. Next we see are two structures over here. One over means star-like structure over here. This star-like structure over here is called as centrosome. Okay, centrosome. Now the centrosome is present only in the animal cell. It is not there in the plant cell. Okay, plant cell में centrosome नहीं होता है. The main thing, region surrounding the centrioles located near the, so it is the region near the nucleus called as the centriole, contains two or more centrioles. So this particular centrosome contains two or more centrioles. Now the centrioles are the one which are going to help the cell to divide. Okay. Centrioles are surrounded by radiating microtubules to form a star and the ester during cell division. So during cell division, it is going to form into network of cells and star-like structure, which is helping the chromosomes to split apart and form into two cells. So basically helping the nucleus to divide into two parts so that it can form two cells. That division part का help कौन कर रहा है? So it is the centrosome और उसके centrioles which produce thread-like structures to pull that thing apart. So that is why they are called as star-like esters. Function: initiates and regulates cell division and forms spindle fibers with the help of esters. So this is the function of centrosome. The next part is the one, so now the parts are such that they are much more prominent in the plant cell. So first thing is the plastids. The plastids are present only in the plant cell. They will be just small dot-like bodies over here, not something specific. So there's a green part, like the one where the chlorophyll is there. All that part is the thing with the plastid. So several kinds, there are many types of plastids. Most common one is the chloroplast, containing the green pigment chlorophyll. So mainly chlorophyll जहाँ पे है वैसे टाइप का प्लास्टिड रहेगा तो उसको नया नाम दिया जाता है chloroplast. So plastids are different kinds of plastids. One of the kind of plastid is chloroplast, which is the one which contains chlorophyll in it. It is double membrane proteinous matrix containing DNA, and Disc-like structure called thylakoids contain chlorophyll. So chlorophyll जो है, it is present in a disc-like structures inside this particular chloroplast called as thylakoids. Now function-wise, chromoplast imparts color to flowers and fruits. Xanthophyll yellow, carotene orange or red. So when this plastid contains color, they are called as chromoplast. Okay, the chromoplasts are colored pigments, and the color of the fruits, the color of the flowers is going to be imparted by whatever pigment is present inside this particular plastid. Chloroplast green traps solar energy for photosynthesis. Leucoplast stores starch, and anthocyanin pigment is dissolved in cell sap and responsible for blue-violet color in plants. You may see many times the flower has got a blue or violet color on top of it. So, the leaf has got a blue-violet color in that. That is because it is having anthocyanin present in it. So that was plastids, which are present only in the plant cells, not in the animal cell. There are two more organelles. One is a vacuole. In case of vacuoles, the plant cell is having a very big vacuole over here, whereas the animal cell may be not present at all or very, very small. And the next one, the granules. The granules over here, like this. यहाँ पे granules भी होते हैं. So let's see what they are, vacuoles and granules. Clear spaces with water or other substances in the solution, and there is vacuoles, clear substance where water normally inside. Plant cells have large vacuoles while the animal cells have fewer or smaller ones, and they are covered with tonoplast covering. The outer covering of the vacuole is made up of covering which is called as tonoplast. Function wise, vacuoles storage of water and other substances, food pigments and waste products, and they also give turgidity to the cell. Now if this particular plant cell has a vacuole which is over like this, big one, जो पानी से भरा हुआ है, then the plant will be in a blossom condition. और ऐसे ही उसका पानी चला जाएगा या water को plants को water नहीं किया है, तो the vacuole becomes smaller and the whole plant shrinks. That means drooping. So the drooping condition of the leaves is because of the vacuoles being empty, and the blossom condition of the leaves is when the vacuoles are full. Okay, so vacuoles, main important part will be gives turgidity. Turgidity means stability or strength, or we can say blossom condition to the cell. Finally, granules, small granule particles, crystals or droplets. They could be of starch in plant cell, glycogen in animal cell, and fat containing granules serve as food for the cells. So this is about the different parts of the cell, that is the cell organelles of this particular thing.